we're going to be converting decimals into fractions. To start things off, we're going to start by converting this number right here into a fraction. Now we can start this off right now by turning this into a numerator over 100. So it's 25 over 100, and we do this because 0.25 rests in the hundredth spot. Now the next step in this process is to simplify this fraction down. And we do this by taking 25 and divide it by 5, and we do the same with the denominator. Now what we end up getting is our simplified fraction, and right now it is 5 over 20. And since that can be simplified once more, we divide the numerator and the denominator by 5. Then we should get 1 over 4, or 1/4. That is our answer. Alright, now we move on to the next question right here. And we begin by doing the same steps, so we bring 6 into the numerator and the 10 into the denominator because 6 is in the tenths place. Then from here we simplify the fraction, so we divide both the numerator and the denominator by 2, and we get 3 over 5, and that is our final answer. Alright, now we move on to our final example right here, and now we're going to start off by doing the same steps, so we move 125 into the numerator's place with the denominator 1000 because 0.125 fits into the thousandth spot. Now we move on to simplifying, so we take both the numerator and the denominator we both have here, we divide them both by 5, and we get 25 over 200. And now we do just the same thing once again, so we take the numerator and the denominator and we divide them both by 5, and then we should get our simplified fraction, which here would be 5 over 40. And now we do the whole thing once more, so we divide the numerator and the denominator by 5, and then we should get our final answer of 1 over 8. That is our answer. Now we're going to be converting fractions into decimals. So we're going to start out by the first question by converting 1/3 into a decimal. So we're going to start out by using long division. So how many times can 3 fit into 1? That's 0, so we put a 0 over on the top. And then we add an extra 0 behind it, so it turns into how many times can 3 fit into 10, and that's 3 times. And then 3 times 3 is 9, so you subtract 9 from 10, and then you get the remainder of 1. However, with a fraction like 1/3, you don't always necessarily need to do long division, as it's very commonly known that 0.3 repeated is 1/3. But yeah, if you forget what it is, or if you don't know it, then what you do is you just do long division, which we just did. So we take the numerator and put it inside of here, and then we take the denominator and put it outside, so we're dividing 1 by 3. Then you do the same thing we did before, so it's 1, 9, 3, and then we take it, and it's a remainder of 1, and as you can see here, it was repeating. So it's 0.333333 repeated. So it's 0.3 repeated for our final answer of converting 1/3 into a decimal. Alright, so we're now going to move on to the next question right here. And to do so, I will show you a different method of doing it, so you can think of it as 1/4 is equal to 0.25, and 0.25 times 3 equals 0.75. However, you can do it like the one we did up there, so do the same thing, so it's just long division, and we take the numerator on the inside, and we do the denominator on the outside, and then we just do the same thing, so we just take, how many times can 4 fit into 30, which is 7, and it's 28, so a remainder of 2, we add a 5 up there, and then it's 228 with no remainder, so our final answer is 0.75. Alright, let's erase this one to make room for our final example. Alright, so now we move on to the final problem, which is this one right here, and we start off by simplifying it because it can be simplified, and it makes our lives easier, so we divide both the numerator and the denominator by 5, and we get 1/5. Now, since 1/5 is a common fraction, you can know that it is 0.2. However, if you do not know that, you just do the same thing that we did many times before. So we just do long division, and then there we go. Our answer is 0.2. Now, at this point, we're going to be converting fractions into percents, and we're going to start out by converting 1/4 into a percent. So we start by converting 1/4 into a decimal, which we've done previously, which is 0.25, and then at that point we can take 0.25 and convert it into 25%, and that is done by moving the decimal 2 places over. Now this is done by multiplying 0.25 by 100. So 0.25 times 100 equals 25%. Now we'll do another example right here by converting 1/2 into a decimal format, which is 0.5. And then we take 0.5 and multiply that one by 100, and then we get 50%. And now we move on to our final question, which is 1/9, and we convert that into a decimal, which is 0.1 repeated. We multiply that one by 100, and then we should get our answer of 11.1 repeated percent. Next, we move right along to converting percents into fractions. And we'll start out by this question right here. So we'll start out by taking 64 and adding it as a numerator out of 100. Now this is because percents are always out of 100. Now what we're going to do is we're going to simplify this fraction, so we're going to divide the numerator and the denominator by 4, and that will give us 16 out of 25. And that is our answer. Alright, now we're going to move on to the next question. So we're going to turn 22% into a fraction. So we're going to start out by taking 22 as a numerator and put it out of 100, and then we just simplify. So it's divide both the numerator and the denominator by 2, and we should get ourselves 11 out of 50. And now I move on to the final question right here, which is 72%. And so we will convert 72% into a fraction, so 72 out of 100. Now obviously we need to reduce this, so we divide both the numerator and the denominator by 2, and then we will get 36 out of 50, and then we repeat the process, and then we get 18 out of 25. Alright, so now we're going to be converting percents into decimals. So we're going to take 27% and basically do the opposite of what we did beforehand. So we're going to divide it by 100 instead of multiplying it by 100, and thus we will get our answer of 0.27. Now we're going to do it again with this question here. So we got 11.3%, and we're going to divide it by 100, and we get 0.113. Alright, final one, we're going to take 93.9%, and we're going to divide it by 100, and then our final answer will be 0.939. And last but not least, we have converting decimals to percents. Now to do this, we're just going to take 0.238 and multiply it by 100, and then we will get our final answer of 23.8%. Alright, so now it's the next question. 0.75, and we're going to multiply by 100, and then it will give us our answer of 75%. Alright, so this is the final question, and I think you get the drill by now. You take 0.38 and multiply by 100, and you get 38%. That's about it. Thanks for watching.